Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm hoping that it's been a great day for you. We're going to talk about something interesting. We're going to talk about relationships. Sometimes relationships are good and sometimes they're just not. There are lots of different types of relationships that we engage in. We have our families, we have our friends, and then we have significant others, right? Well, relationships, I wonder if people who are engaging in relationships really know how to be in a relationship, right? So there's the teenage years. You think, oh, this is when this happens. This is when it first happens, and you become interested in someone else, and you want to form a relationship with someone, but 15, 16, 17, are you really equipped to be in a relationship? And I think some people would probably say yes, but I think that's pretty young. Now, if the teenagers were taught cognitive behavioral therapy and it was taught in their schools and they learn how to control their emotions and deal with their feelings and things like that, maybe a teenager, maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing to start relationships at a young age. But that's usually not the case. Any relationship you have, the person who comes into your life should enhance your life. And that's just to make your life better. Another person is not supposed to make your life worse. What attracts us to people? There are a lot of different things that will attract us to people. Men are they're visual, and what women do with their bodies, a lot of times that will attract the man. But what about your mind? Do those relationships work for the long haul? Well, I mean, some do and some don't. What if what attracted the individual was your body, and your body is no longer excuse me, no longer like it was when you met? Then what happens? So get to know a person, find out what it is about that person that makes them happy, the things that they want to do. And then that person can find out the things that make you happy, the things you want to do. And I don't know, maybe you can connect in a more meaningful way, perhaps. Well, there are relationships that are good and there are relationships that are not so good. So I will say healthy and unhealthy. Now, anybody that's had any type of science or that's in the medical field at all, then you've heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And basically, he makes this pyramid, and the most basic things we need are food, water, and shelter. And then the pyramid continues up in sections, and one of the sections talks about the feeling of wanting to belong. And so it's a natural thing for us to want to be in relationships. That's just how it is. But if you choose wrong, it can be a bad thing. It could be something that causes great distress in your life rather than bring you great happiness. So first we're going to talk about a few things to let you know that you are in a good relationship. Do you trust that individual? If that individual says, I am going to the store, I will be back, are you worried about, are they going to make a rendezvous? If the individual says, no, I would like for you to respect my privacy, and no, I'm not giving you the password to my phone, then do you become suspicious and you think, oh, well, he doesn't want me to have his password to his phone because he's doing something that he doesn't have any business doing? Is that what we do? A lot of times that is what happens. And then you may have the couple who says, well, I'll give my password because I don't have anything to hide. And the other person says, well, I'll give my password, I don't have anything to hide. But really, there's a certain amount of personal space that we're supposed to have when we are in relationships. It's not all about us being together 24/7. That would just wear me out, I'll tell you. So there's trust, and then there's respect. Do you respect that individual? Do you respect what that person has to say? Or are you a person who has to know that they have to be heard? You're going to hear what I say and then you're going to talk all over the person. Are you that person? Or do you respect what the other person has to say? Now, are you able to resolve conflict in a respectful and loving manner? So if we get into an argument, are you going to be able to just, we come to this agreement that, okay, sometimes you can agree to disagree, but then you don't have to take it to a point where, you're all puffed up because they didn't agree with what you said. That is not evidence of a healthy relationship, right? So you can love them. You can show them love. One of the things about being in a healthy relationship is you want to spend time with each other. You want to be with each other. That is kind of what a relationship is about, but it's not all what a relationship is about. And do you have a life outside of this relationship with this individual? Do you? Or is every waking moment with that person? You wake up with them, you eat together, you spend the whole day together, and then at the end of the night, you're doing things together. Now, it's not to say that, you shouldn't do things together, because you should do things together. I mean, you're a couple, and so there's nothing wrong with you doing things together. But you have to know that each person needs their own space. Each person needs to have their own friends. Right? I mean, makes sense to me. So those are just some signs that you're in a healthy relationship when you have these things. Love, trust, and you can resolve things in a peaceful manner. You have friends outside of the group of friends that you all have together. So what about the unhealthy relationship? Well, there's no respect in that relationship. One individual does not respect the other individuals, what they have to say. You don't respect them. And you basically are like, no, this is the way it is, and then that's that. Well, it's not that's that, because that's not how a healthy relationship works. Now, we've talked about domestic abuse in the past. Now, are you in a relationship where the individual, your significant other, is controlling? They've got to know everything you do, everywhere you go. They have to know all these things, right? It's not a healthy relationship. Are you in a relationship where the person doesn't want to hold you back? So let's say you want to go to school. You want to further your education. Are you with someone who is trying to let you know, oh, you don't need to do that. You're just fine just the way you are. And that's going to cost a lot of money. And you're going to spend a lot of time away from home. That's not a healthy thing. I'm telling you. I was in a relationship one time, and I wanted so badly to go and take a test to get into LVN school. And I didn't have a car at the time. And my significant other, every time I was wanting to use the car for that purpose, there was an excuse. But I was determined I was going to go and take this test. And it all worked out for me, because one week my mother came up and said, hey, I'm going to stay the whole week. And I said, oh, fantastic, because now I can go and I can take this test. And so when my significant other knew anything, I was already admitted into LVN school. But that was an example of somebody that is basically not for you completing your education, not for you advancing yourself in life, because they pretty much want to keep a thumb on you and let you just be right there where they want you to be, right? That is evidence that that is not a healthy relationship. What about the crazy in love thing? I love you so much. I just want to be with you. And then they've got to call you 50 times a day to tell you how much they love you and how much they want to be with you. You know, that is crazy love, and that's that's not good love. And then what about jealousy? You know, if you look nice, someone compliments you and says, you know, you look nice. It's not, there's nothing meant by it except for the fact that you look nice. And your significant other gets jealous because somebody else has said, hey, you look nice. No, those are signs that you are in an unhealthy relationship. But hey, you know, you can do things to change your life and to better your life. So, Better Days, faithbasedcounseling.com. Hey, come, let's talk about it.